Hey Miramichi, it's your buddy Brett Kissel, and on July the 25th, we're going to play Rockin' River Country. It's something I'm very excited to be performing at. I love the community of Miramichi. A lot of you know that I've been there a few times to, do some hunting. I've been there a few times to do some fishing on the river, and I can't wait to bring my brand of country music to you guys. July the 25th, please get your tickets. Amber and Amelia, they're going to be opening the show, and I'm excited to see them perform. And I'm just excited to maybe go to the new Maritime Brewing Company and throw back a couple beers, and maybe somebody out there's got a boat and wants to take me fishing. I don't know. I'll be there for a couple days, so let's have some fun. We'll see you July 25th, Rockin' River Country.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. That was a long one. I am your host, Franky Corcoran. There are some people who listen to the podcast that always say, yeah, hey, it goes on long sometimes. So I said, okay, you want to hear long? That's long. Maybe I'll make it longer in future episodes as well, too. The whole first minute of the podcast will just be me going, hey. Thank you guys for tuning into the show today. As always, it always means the world. Hope everyone's having a good summer. Canada Day is coming up. July is coming up. Lots of great stuff going on this summer. As you heard in the intro, the Brett Kissel concert's coming up. Tickets are in the episode description, rockandriverfest.ca. Get those now because that is fast approaching. So thank you guys for everyone who has bought tickets and for supporting what is probably going to be one of the biggest shows on the river this year, probably. So thank you guys all for that. Not really much aside from that. Very excited about our guest today. John Fellner. He is a singer-songwriter from London, Ontario, known for his ability to capture the human experience in its most vulnerable and authentic form. You can catch his latest EP, Boundaries, is available now on all music platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your music. We have a great conversation, so thank you so much to John for coming on. And be sure to check out his website. We're going to put the link to that also in the episode description so you can keep up to date with all of his upcoming projects and what he's got on the go. Later in the show, I want to give my thoughts. The new Shrek 5 trailer has people in pretty divisive opinions, so I'm going to kind of touch briefly on that. And then also, I want to give my thoughts. It's been confirmed, it's being reported at least, that we are getting a sequel to Jim Carrey's The Grinch with both Jim Carrey and Ron Howard both returning. So I'll give my thoughts on that. And so without further ado, guys, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast today. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Franky Corcoran, and today I'm joined by indie pop singer-songwriter who actually started off as a producer, JUNO-nominated producer at that, wears many hats in the music business. His latest EP, Boundaries, is available across all platforms, wherever you get your music. John Fellner. John, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. First off, congratulations on the success of the EP. It's been out for about a month now. So how has the response kind of been? How has because of course it's not your first EP, it's your second one, if I'm not mistaken. So you kind of have done this before, but how would you kind of describe the feelings of, okay, first EP, there's a lot of skepticism going into it because it's your first one, and then you get to your second one and there must be a little bit more relief, I guess, is there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely exciting. I think it's like anything. You do it more than once. You start to become familiar with the way things go and just the expectations of everything. But yeah, no, it's been great. My first EP, Crossroads, came out about a year before Boundaries came out, so it's kind of a year of learning in between, which has been cool. But yeah,
but no matter what you do, I find it's like you're just going to keep on learning new things as you go. Like no matter what you do, you could be the best, like not even in the entertainment world, if you're just an engineer, so to speak. I'm sure there's going to be things that obviously you're going to be good at what you do, but there's still going to be things that you're going to learn as you go. And that's kind of the same deal with a song. How long have you been, because you started off as a producer, now you've kind of transitioned more so to the singer-songwriter part. How long have you been doing the indie songwriting for?
Yeah, so I started as a producer. You know, I should say my first project as a producer was in 2017, and that's kind of when I began. And then it wasn't until 2022 that I put up my first kind of solo music. So yeah, so it's been about 4 years of doing the solo indie artist adventure, as well as doing my production and songwriting work with other people.
Oh, okay, right on. So, and how old are you, by the way? You're,
I'm 20. How old do you think I am?
okay, 20. I'm 26. I'm gonna say you're 29.
Bang on.
No way, was I right?
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
I didn't even look that up. I didn't Google that or anything. But at
Yeah.
that age, it's always crazy to think that you do all this stuff before you turn 30 years old. Like it's something. There's some people, they always have their life mapped out in a certain sense of, I'm going to have this by this age. I'm going to be married with kids with a house at this age, or I'm going to have my first record deal at this age. Did you ever kind of go into life or music with those deadlines or those goals in mind, or did you just kind of go with the flow of things?
I would say it was definitely go with the flow. I will say that, you know, when I kind of entered into being in a creative industry, I think I gave myself some deadlines as to, like, you know, if this isn't working by, you know, this time, or if I'm not able to kind of keep things moving or keep things afloat, you know, but like alone, you know, in this kind of crazy industry, then, you know, I might have to pivot. So that was kind of always in the back of my head. Luckily, things have been working out, you know, for the past number of years. I got lucky with the first album I ever produced. Actually, was a JUNO nominated project, and then from there I got a few other ones, and so it was kind of like things kind of snowballed in the right direction. And then I think when it comes to my artistry, I've been writing songs forever, so it just kind of felt like a natural progression to kind of dive into that. But yeah, I don't think I had like a, you know, I have to have a record deal by 30 or by 25 or anything. It just kind of ebbed and flowed, and as long as I could pay my rent, you know.
Yes, that's the key thing. Key thing is always, as long as I have enough to eat, as long as I have enough to pay my power bill, all that stuff like that, rent, then I'm good. You know, that's really the main thing. And, you know, with how crazy, as we mentioned, how crazy the music industry is, being able to do what you've done in, you know, it kind of feels like a short span of time. I mean, like, you know, not even 30 yet. Are you turning 30 this year, or are you turning next year?
No, next year.
Okay, next year. Okay, right on. So, but even still, it still kind of feels like all the stuff that you've done before you turning 30, it's always a big, you know, it always makes me happy to see how, you know, accomplished and how dedicated some people are to the craft, that look at where they have gotten to at this point. And whereas there's some people who are still in their 40s and still in their 50s who are still struggling to make a name for themselves. Would you say in this type of business, or just the industry in general, is it a mixture of luck, hard work? How would you kind of describe it? Because I always hear lots of different perspectives that it's just pure luck. You just need to be in the right place at the right time and know the right people, or it's just keep on working, and somebody's going to see you. Which way do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you know, there has to be an amount of talent. You have to be, you know, gifted in some way, whatever the art form or thing you're pursuing. But I think, you know, more than anything, even more than talent, and I've seen this from people who I've seen, you know, have all the talent in the world and then not make it. And that's strictly because they don't work hard enough. They don't have the mindset and the work ethic to kind of drive forward. I mean, I say this all the time with when people ask me about, you know, music and trying to make it in the music business, and it's not a matter of like, you know, if you're dedicated enough, you will stay in it, but it's just a matter of, can you you last that long, you know, because it's not going to be an overnight success. It's not going to happen in a year. it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of commitment, and you have to really, work at it every single day. And I think, there's, and then obviously that opportunity meets, hard work, right? That's kind of where I think good things happen. So yeah, I mean, it's talent, it's luck, but it's a ton of hard work. You've really got to be dedicated to it.
And not stopping at a certain point,
Yeah.
because I say this with especially like podcasts, is that there's people who say that they want to do podcasting and they hopefully maybe want to make some money off it or whatever the case may be, but they stop after episode 6 and just go, yeah, it wasn't coming to me, all the things I wanted didn't come to me. It's like, okay, well,
Right.
you might have got into it for the wrong reasons then, because I mean, it's a matter of how passionate you are, a matter of how there's a lot of factors that come into play, and really the music industry is more so competitive than podcasting. I mean, obviously they both have their similarities and differences, but the music industry is that there's a ton of people trying to get recognized by a certain amount of people. Like sometimes it just doesn't always fall into place. How would you kind of equate like your success? Like, would you kind of look at it as, just right place, right time? It was just hard work. Like, how do you kind of look at it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like success is such a tough thing to define when you're talking about yourself, right? I mean, I'm very, very lucky that I get to be in music. I wouldn't say I've made it or I'm there by any means. I'm very lucky that I get to do it, and that's kind of like how I baseline success. But anyways, sorry, what was your question there? I lost my train of thought.
How would you kind of say like your success, like because we were talking about the whole being lucky, being in the right place at the right time versus just working hard. How would you kind of describe your success? Was it a little bit of luck?
Right.
Was it more hard work? Like, how would you kind of describe it?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's both. I think I was lucky that the first artist I worked with, and kind of before I even got into production, I mean, the whole story kind of goes is I dropped out of engineering school about 10 years ago. So in 2017, I moved back to London, and a guy who I don't think we'd ever met, but he messaged me. He was looking for a guitar player for this artist who's a singer from my hometown in London. And anyways, it was just kind of, so that in itself was kind of lucky because he messaged me right at the right time that I was looking to get involved in some more projects. And then kind of over that course of that next, 4 or 6 months, we started just making more music. And then I was a producer. I didn't really know what the term meant before, to be honest. So I was very lucky in the sense that I got, put into a situation that I was able to then, excel and then work really, really hard on. And I will say that I truly did work as hard as I possibly could to make sure that whatever this opportunity was, and at the time I truly didn't know where it was going to go, but whatever it was, I was like, I'm not going to squander this. This is I'm going to try and make the most out of this situation. And it was shortly after that album, or that artist, sorry, got recognized by Universal Music Canada. And then we ended up putting that album out through UMC. So it was kind of a very lucky situation, but I will say that I was ready to take it on. I was very much in that moment and being like, I'm going to work as hard as I can every single day to make sure that I know what I'm doing. Because at that point I really didn't. I was just a young kid and we were in my mom's basement making music. It was very, very much that kind of attitude. I mean, I was 19 or 20 at the time. So it was, yeah.
I mean, like it comes with its faults, it comes with its challenges, but anybody who says that I quit this job because it was too stressful, or I did this because it's like, okay, so you want to go find a job that's no stress? Okay, then you're going to be unemployed for the rest of your life. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like you're always going to go through challenges. You're always going to go through rejection. That's kind of you. Do you agree with the statement that it's like you're not a true artist until you've really experienced rejection? Is that very, very accurate?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think you have to fail. You have to try something and it not work, and then you have to like find your way to navigate that and deal with that too. I think as an artist, you're constantly dealing with things not working out the way that you planned, or pivoting, or trying to approach something from a new angle because it didn't work before. So I think you're constantly dealing with that. If you don't know how to deal with that, then you're kind of constantly taking one step ahead, two steps back. So it's like you've got to kind of deal with that rejection from people. People, as a musician, you put out a song, people don't like it. That's the classic, right? Or you submit your song to a label, they don't want to sign you. Or you try to book a show, they don't want to book you. So it's like you're constantly dealing with these things that I think are important. You have to be able to say, okay, that's I believe in myself. One of my mentors, actually, something that stuck with me, and I mean, it stuck with me from when I kind of started transitioning into becoming an artist, was he said, you know what, you have to be your biggest fan. You can't, your parents, your best friend, your partner, like they love you and they support you, but you have to be your biggest fan for that. When the show doesn't go well, or the single comes out and no one cares, it's like that's when you got to pick yourself up and be like, no, I believe in myself, I can do this, and I got to keep going. And I think that it's hard, but a lot of artists, it's not an easy industry. And that sounds kind of pessimistic, but it's true. It's just the reality of it. You've got to have that kind of keep going, don't stop mentality. And if you love it, it makes it easier as well.
No, definitely. But like rejection and the industry is like a car and oil changes. It's just just something that comes with it. It's gonna happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you kind of just got to go with it. But you're probably your favorite song. It's not on your newest EP, but your favorite song of yours. First off, guys, be sure to go check out all of his music. Broke Skin is one that it was so funny when we booked this interview, and I remember I was always hearing Broke Skin. I'm not gonna lie, this last year I was hearing it. It was a couple like Instagram reels and stuff like that, and I was like, this is the same guy? I said, oh my God. I said, this is the guy who sings that song that I saw on Instagram Reels and stuff like that. And I can't remember exactly like what the context of the Reels and stuff were. But tell me a little bit about what went into that song, Broke Skin. And is it the same kind of reaction I had where it was like, oh my God, this is the guy,
Well, yeah, I mean that song was really cool because and maybe this is also where you heard it, but it got onto Virgin Radio, so it got top 40 for the last year, and it actually won. There's a program called the Future Star program, which is an iHeart Radio kind of like, it's a contest, and every 2 months, I think it is, they put out, you could apply or submit your song that you're putting out to then try and win the Future Star. And basically what that means is it gets you on to the Virgin radio station airplay in rotation for 2 months at the minimum. And then if it does well, it will continue. So Broke Skin actually won the Future Star in April of last year. And then it stayed on for another like year. So that was really cool. And that's kind of what led to a lot of momentum with my career and kind of how things kind of continued. But yeah, the song itself, it's funny. The song itself was a song I had written, a long time ago, back in my mom's basement. And we had, and it was just a song that I had for a long time. And it was, it just was a song that I kept singing and whatever, and in different band formations, I would bring it out and say, oh, yeah, let's play this one or whatever. And so it just stayed with me for a long time. And then when it came to putting out my first EP, it just felt like a very fitting record to have, including on that 5-song EP that's called Crossroads. Broke Skin felt like a very, very just sure one that I needed to have. But it was funny because I never made that song to become a radio song. And then at the time, one of the guys who was working on my label, he sent it to a guy named Gareth Jones, who was our radio promoter, and he was like, hey, this is John's first EP. I think there's some good stuff on it. I think down the line we might have a song for radio. And Gareth was like, down the line, we have one right here, and he loved it. And then that's kind of how the ball got rolling with that one. But yeah, it's funny, man. You never know. You never know what's going to happen with music and your songs. I mean, and then you on make a radio song, and then that one flops, so that one never doesn't go to radio. So it's like you just never know what you're going to get. It's just it's a funny world.
But in entertainment, sometimes the biggest risks and the biggest that the label will say and be like, or like the radio stations will look at and go like, really? Like this one here? Like you got to be delusional. Like, did you hit your head? Like, why do you think this is going to be the next? And then, but no, it's like, no, this is it. This is, like there's something, sometimes people are able to see, they can almost see you better than you see yourself. And you be like, and like, no, you're onto something here. And this is something that I think can be a hit, and, it's always interesting. Like when you look at like, even the greatest show of all time, Breaking Bad, kind of happened that way in the sense of Bryan Cranston. They didn't want Bryan Cranston because that's the funny dad from Malcolm in the Middle. How can he do this? And then boom, it's like now the greatest television character of all time. It's like, so had they not done it, had Vince Gilligan not pushed for him, we wouldn't be saying Breaking Bad's the greatest show of all time. It could be a good show, but a show that wouldn't be on the level that it is now. And so there's sometimes, and then same thing applies with music and everything too. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's probably, I heard some story about someone who turned down the beat. I'm not sure where I heard it, but it was like some label turned down the Beatles, and then they were beating themselves up afterwards. I don't know. You guys can look that up if I can't remember where I heard that. But but you don't necessarily fault, because sometimes it's like you can't see the future. That's one thing. Like you don't know where this thing is going to end up. And does that kind of make it more exciting for you? Does that make it scarier? Just going into it knowing that I don't know if this is going to have a longevity to it. I'm sure it will, but what if there's not? A lot of anxiety comes with that. How do you kind of deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think doubt and anxiety is something that's built in every artist. It kind of goes without saying, right? Like you're always kind of anxious and worried about the next step. I think more and more I try and listen to my own instincts and my own gut. I mean, I think the classic kind of dilemma is you get into a situation, as an artist, where you start working with a label, you start working with the team, and then you got a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and people tell you what you should do or what you should sound like or what you should look like and all these things. And I think the more that I kind of go through that, and by the way, that's not really my situation at all. I mean, there are definitely opinions, but I'm very, very lucky in the sense that I get to do what I feel is right. But I think there's a lot of artists that probably can relate with the sense that, they start working with the label, and then they have to change in certain ways or change different aspects of kind of their character or their sound or their music or whatever. And I think, just staying as true to yourself as you can, then you can't really fail, because at the end of the day, I mean, I make music, and that's going to sound cliche, but I truly make music for myself. I make music to get through my own kind of therapy, or to work through things. It is my therapy. And if it succeeds and becomes a number one hit, or if 10 people hear it, it really, for me, for the process of making it, it's not the important thing. The important thing is getting through it, seeing a song through, feeling really good about that, and then releasing it into the world. That's kind of what, the art is. And, the business side of it is a whole other aspect that I'm in, but I try and limit my intake of the business knowledge for, sometimes, because you've gotta trust your gut. So yeah, I think all that to say is, the more you can trust your gut and lean on your intuition, the more longevity you'll have, because the more you'll create.
Well, that's also why we have producers and managers, so we don't have to worry about the craziness of like, oh crap, behind the scenes stuff that's going on. That's why we kind of leave that to the producers. Obviously, there might be a couple odds and ends that you might have to deal with and things like that, but for the most part, it's like, okay, that's their job type thing. So it makes it a lot easier in that regard. And then, I'm sure it's sometimes difficult for some people that they're sometimes people can get so independent that they just like, no, I want to do everything myself. Were you always kind of like that? Did you want to do everything yourself? And then when was the point that you were like, I think I need to bring a team in to help me with this?
Yeah, I mean, it for a long time, I mean, I was just doing it myself, or I should say I had my manager with me. So he started managing me when I was a producer, and then when I transitioned into becoming kind of more of an artist, he was one who was really pushing me to do that because he was one of the only ones who had heard some of the music. Because again, I wasn't really sharing it, and it was just kind of a post COVID thing to get me through some stuff, and anyways, but I think the team aspect just sort of started building kind of naturally over time, and it's a huge benefit. I think I everything that we have going on right now between my artist project, my production stuff, I could not do this alone. Like there is, and my business isn't massive, but it's there's just so much to it. I mean, even like releasing a project, like boundaries. It's like there is just so many things you have to think about with with all the DSPs, with trying to get editorial playlisting when you're putting out music. Getting involved in the right publisher, or sorry, the publicist to get situations like this for us. Like these are all things that my team is assisting with. I also have a creative team that help with my artwork, my videography. I have someone who helps me with my social media. Like there is just so much to it that one single person alone, you're gonna burn out. Like, and I say that to other friends of mine who are artists who are trying to navigate it, and I see it more with them is that they do burn out because it's truly it's truly a struggle. So, I mean, I've been very lucky that my team has grown kind of organically, and we've just been building as it goes. But yeah, it's a huge, especially in this day and age. I mean, there's so much quantity of content and of things you have to do, and constantly putting out music. It's having a team is basically essential.
And that's what, because like you said, doing it all yourself is, yeah, like you are going to burn yourself out. People get burned out really easily on this stuff because it's not that you don't aren't enjoying it anymore, yeah, kind of, but it's just like just I'm exhausted, like I'm exhausted, and like it's sometimes hard to shut off your work mode because you're trying to balance too much. You're like, so it's always great to, especially in just dealing with mental health and physical health too, is a big thing. People get so caught up in this stuff that they don't really think too much about their own health, but that's
Yeah.
important because I mean,
Hmm.
if you're going hard working behind the scenes, and then also you have a tour or something like that you're doing, you're not going to put on a good show. You know what I mean? Like that's always,
Absolutely.
and the show must go on. You really got to make sure that you got your life in order and your health in order. And it's just something that we sometimes, is that something, did you struggle to kind of put that first sometimes too? Because, doing all this stuff, that almost might become kind of like a, afterthought. Like, oh yeah, it's fine. Doctor's appointment. Oh yeah, it's fine. No, I'll do that after. But have you always been, health first type of guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think starting out, I wasn't, and it was truly like I'll do whatever to make this work, and I'll cancel all my health things. I won't focus on my mental health, or I won't let that kind of be I'll just bulldoze through. I was lucky in the sense that I learned pretty early on that that's not going to work. And and now a big part of my life is that I have balance. I like to do things that are outside of this because I think for a long time, and that's not to say that I don't work hard. I work very hard, and I'm constantly working on stuff. But I try to like give myself breaks. I think more than especially in the last 4 or 5 years, it's like I try and give myself some time off. I try and go out, go for a bike ride, go for a run, go for a walk, just get outside because I think like I first of all I love being outside. But it also you can't really have one without the other, and that's why COVID was so hard. It's like you weren't living, we were just existing, and then the creating art became kind of tough, and all you could talk about was just like being down. And I mean, there's so many albums that came out that were just like tough and they're about feeling locked and trapped and all these things, right? But if you can't live, if you're not living and exist, or and you're just existing, it's really hard to make art because the art is a reflection of life, right? You're creating art to express how you're feeling in your everyday life, or looking back on a time or a memory or whatever. But it's you kind of need to have the balance. So I'm that's a big part of my life. That's something I preach to a lot of people too. I tell them to take a break, get in, be healthy. Like find an activity, even if it's not a rung. Like go throw axes or something. You know what I mean? Go do something. I think it's so incredibly important.
It is because it is our passion, but it's also work, like it
Hmm.
is work. And it's one of those things that that's why they have days off. That's why they have vacation time. That's why they have PTO, that's why they have that, is so that you can not get burned out, and so that you can just take some time to also enjoy life and stop and smell the roses, because life goes quick. And it's everyone's getting older, everyone's getting, it's just part of, the way things go. We lose people close to us and everything. So we're all just trying to do our thing, enjoy life, but also do what we love, which is what you are doing, is making music, which is so of course Boundaries is your latest EP. What can you tell us a little bit about Boundaries and kind of the making of it?
Yeah, so it's the follow-up EP to my first project, Crossroads. And yeah, it's 4 songs. It's kind of like 4 genres almost within the project. But it's got kind of this one through line theme, and that's exploring these different types of boundaries that we have in our lives. And yeah, it kind of goes through different types of boundaries that we have for ourselves, boundaries that others have, maybe towards us, and kind of asks some questions about, vices and, are all boundaries good? Yeah, just that sort of thing. So it's really cool. I really am proud of it. And I think it felt like a really great follow up to my first project. There's kind of a theme with the Crossroads, boundaries, and then I've got an LP that'll be coming out in September as well, which I'm very excited about, and that one's called Avenues. So you can kind of see the theme maybe, but yeah. So it's been a really really fun project to work on.
We're setting boundaries. And so yeah, after this interview, I'm going to set a boundary, and I'm not going to talk to John ever again. I'm setting boundaries.
Yeah,
I'm setting boundaries.
you're setting boundaries.
This is too much for me. No, this has been great, man. Truly. And so, as I said, guys, be sure to go check out Boundaries. Also, a lot of his other music as well, too. As I said, Broke Skin, which is a great song, among many others. If you were to kind of, as we kind of sign off here, if you were to kind of give a piece of advice, given all of your success as a producer and as a singer-songwriter, if you were to kind of give a piece of advice to someone out there who wants to pursue that, or maybe is pursuing it but is having a little bit of a tough time and they're getting discouraged, what would you say to them as a piece of advice?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just keep your head down, keep working hard. I think the best thing you can do is to just not stop, and really put any free time and into your craft, and just really try and better yourself, and do it for the right reasons too. Do it because you love it, not just because you want to meet Drake.
There you go. That's perfect. Yeah, don't be Drake.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, awesome. John, thank you so much, man, for taking the time to come on. We'll put the link in the episode description to your website. People can go check it out and keep up to date with all your tour dates and projects and things like that. And also be sure to go follow him on social media. Again, thank you so much for taking the time, and very much appreciate. You're a busy man, but coming on out to do this show always means a lot. And best of luck in everything that you are doing and continue to do.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Frankie. It's been a pleasure to chat with you.
Well, thank you, man. It's truly an honor. It is an honor. Guys, we're gonna take a short break. We will be right back. But until then, this is Frankie and John Fellner signing off. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corkin Entertainment Show. That was me and John Fellner. Thank you so much to John for coming on. And guys, be sure to check out his website. The link is going to be in the episode description. Keep up to date with all of his upcoming projects, tour dates, and all the amazing work that he continues to do. So thank you so much to John for coming on. I appreciate it. So moving on to what's new in the entertainment world this week. Well, we just got the trailer for Shrek 5. Now, this isn't actually, I should note, this isn't the first trailer for Shrek 5 we got. It's the first trailer we've gotten for it, but the first footage that we had of Shrek 5 was back last year, which I covered that on the show as well. Lots of opinions on the updated Shrek graphics and saying that it just looks ugly and this and that. But the way I looked at it then was he's an ogre. He's going to be ugly no matter what you do. So to kind of go back, I mean, obviously, for those of you guys who are wondering, there's going to be another Shrek movie. Yes, there is. Shrek 5 is coming out on June 30th, 2027. So we're pretty much almost 1 year out from Shrek 5. And I'm actually really excited for this movie. So, because, I mean, obviously Shrek is one that I still remember. I think one of the first movies that I saw in theaters was Shrek 2. The first movie that I ever saw in theaters was The Incredibles. And then the next one I saw was Shrek 2. It was at least one of the first ones. And so it's just one of those. Shrek is the type of franchise that it's just like they're timeless. You know, we're introducing it to everyone's kids and everything like that now, and it's so it's just so great to see that Shrek is never going to die. Essentially, it's just one of those timeless classics that will never get old. And the first two were great. I love the first two Shrek movies. The third one was kind of meh, and then the fourth one was it was good. It was a good way to kind of end the franchise. I think if you're doing 4 movies, you're gonna have one that's not gonna be the greatest. So it is what it is. But so of course we have Shrek 5 is in the works. It's gonna be released around this time next year. We'll be talking a little bit more about it. And I've always said that I think Shrek 5 is a guaranteed billion-dollar film. I think this movie is going to cross the $1 billion mark. Maybe some people think that Shrek isn't to that level. I'm like, no. Shrek is to that level. Like, there's people, as soon as they heard that there was going to be a Shrek 5, there was international celebration that there was going to be another Shrek movie. Just because people love it. As I said, it's timeless. Like, no matter how old you get, you'll always love it, and then your kids will love it, and the next generation, it's just going to be one of those franchises that'll just keep going on and will just never go away. You know what I mean? It's why shows like Full House have never... shows like Full House are still very relevant because it's timeless, you know? People who have watched it when they were kids are showing their kids, and then, you know, it's just all a circle of life. And that's another movie that's timeless, The Lion King. So anyways, we're getting Shrek 5. We just got a trailer out for it. And what are my thoughts on it? As a Shrek fan, I would say that it's great. I loved it. The trailer's not good. The trailer's not really good. Now, don't get me wrong. Because this is a first trailer. I wouldn't even really call it a trailer. It's a teaser trailer. The teaser that we got last year was like a 20-second clip, and all it did was just show us the new designs, and it got the internet crazy over it. But so this is like the first trailer. So like there's still stuff to come out of this, and I think that we are gonna get we'll get a better idea as the film or as the marketing goes on, because it's so easy to judge a movie just off of the first trailer. Like, look at the Sonic movies. The first trailer was so bad that they literally had to remake the movie. Not to completely remake it, but they had to go right back to the editing suite and fix up Sonic's design, and then boom, we are getting a fourth movie. So So Shrek 5, I'm not saying that this trailer makes it definitive that the movie is going to be bad or not. I just think, judging by what I've seen, I'm not really impressed by it. To a certain, I mean, like, first off, it's great to see all the voice actors and stuff like that back. And it's great to see, like, Shrek and Donkey, like, their whole dynamic is still the same, which I really, really like. But I think the thing that I don't really like about it is, I don't know. It's there's something about it where you're trying to add, like, they made a Frozen reference, the snowman reference, and then you have the Gingy talking about his cake. Like, I don't know. It just, there's something about when you're modernizing something like Shrek that it just kind of feels, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know people get older and they incorporate the next gen. Like, I totally get that. It was similar to when Malcolm in the Middle came back, and Malcolm ended in 2006, 2007, somewhere in that range. And then the sequel, of course, Life's Still Unfair, came out this past year, 2026. So about 20 years later, and they incorporated all of the modern day stuff to it. And so, but I don't know. It just doesn't fit Shrek. Like I said, there's some franchises that it works to do stuff like that. I don't think Shrek's the type of franchise that you can add all these references and do you want to build a snowman? And I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of it personally. So, but then also another thing is, I think they changed the design even more. I mean, when they made the design, when they announced, they did the big reveal trailer last year, and showed Shrek's new design. I was like, it doesn't look bad. Like, it still looks like Shrek. But now that I see it, I'm like, did they try to fix it? Did they try to fix it and it just made them look even uglier? I'm like, they should have just kept it the way it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they did keep it the same, and I'm just, it's because we're seeing more footage from it now that it's, I don't know. But to me, he looks uglier than he did in the first teaser that got everybody all pissed off. And that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this. I'm just like, he looks uglier than that. So I don't know. I think I'm still looking forward to seeing this movie. I just don't think that this trailer really has me sold right now. Just seeing, I don't know. It's unfortunate. I want to like it because it's Shrek. I mean, obviously, who doesn't like Shrek? And we all want this movie to be good. And I have no doubt that it probably will be good. Will it be the best Shrek movie ever? Maybe not. But who knows? Like, we'll see kind of how it all works out. But just going by a first trailer, I just don't think this really, it just didn't work for me personally. I don't think. But that's just my opinion on it. I'd love to hear what everybody else thinks. Did the Shrek 5 trailer work for you? Are you excited for the movie? Do you agree with me that just including these modern day references just kind of makes it feel like, nah, really? Did you really have to do that? It's kind of dumb. But whatever you guys think, be sure to let me know what you think. And, I am still excited to see Shrek 5. I am. And this time next year, we'll be getting ready for it. But as someone who loves Shrek, this teaser was a little bit of a disappointment to me. But, art's subjective. That's why there's always different flavors of ice cream. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean that you guys all have to hate it or like it too. It's really, as I said, it's all subjective. So be sure to let me know what you guys think about that. This episode of the Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Holy Hydrogen. Okay, guys, let's be real. We all try our best to stay hydrated, right? But not all water is created equal. That's where Holy Hydrogen comes in. They've got this awesome device called the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition, and it takes clean water to the next level by infusing it with molecular energy. That means you're not just drinking water. You're giving your body extra support with every sip, better energy, less inflammation, and a real boost to your immune system. So try the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition today by going to shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran for $100 off your purchase. Again, that's shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran at checkout. Stay hydrated and stay healthy. The Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Podmatch. When I first started this podcast, one of the biggest challenges I was faced was simply finding the right guest. I'd spend hours scrolling through social media, sending cold emails, trying to track down people who actually shared similar interests and aligned with the vision of my show. It was exhausting, time-consuming, and honestly kind of felt like a guessing game. That is why I wish I had discovered Podmatch sooner. It is the ultimate platform built to connect podcast hosts with prospective guests effortlessly. Instead of wasting your days hunting for the right fit, Podmatch uses an intelligent, automated matching system and pairs you directly with like-minded creators and experts tailored specifically to your niche. Whether you're a podcaster looking to elevate your show to new heights, or you're a guest hoping to share your expertise with a broader audience, Podmatch completely simplifies the entire process. If you're ready to save time and grow your brand, head over to www.joinpodmatch.com/Corcoran Entertainment and sign up today for only $6 a month. That's right, you heard me right. $6 a month to join the Podmatch family and never struggle to find the perfect guest ever again. Thank you for tuning in to the show, and happy podcasting. And so moving on to our last solo discussion topic today, we're going to be talking about another sequel to something that's coming out, to something that was well over 20 years ago. Well, actually, Shrek 5 is coming out, I think, like 25 years, 27 years since, or no, 17. I'm sorry, I'm thinking 17 years. It's coming 17 years after the last one. But this is one, it's coming out well over 26 years since the last one, and we're finally getting a sequel to it. So How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which is probably, at least in my household, it plays all the time, even when it's not Christmas. My family loves this movie. I like this movie too. I mean, it's just one of those ones that I've seen it so many times. This news was kind of like, holy crap, it's actually legit. We're getting a sequel to the 2000 movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Of course, directed by Ron Howard. Jim Carrey starred as the Grinch. We have the girl from Pretty Reckless. The lead singer of that is the one who played Cindy Lou. I don't know if she's coming back, but yeah, so it's been announced that a sequel is in the works. Now, when I first read this, I didn't believe it at first because there's always rumors and stuff going on, people saying they're making a sequel to stuff, and there's no reputable sources. But then I looked it up, and I'm reading this from Hollywood Reporter, which they're giving the exclusive here that, this is the article, How the Grinch Stole Christmas sequel in the works with Jim Carrey and Ron Howard. Exclusive. So it's going to be a Merry Grinchmas all over again. Universal and Imagine Entertainment are developing a sequel to 2000's How the Grinch Stole Christmas with 3 key players expected to return. Jim Carrey is in talks to reprise his role as the classic Dr. Seuss character, the Grinch, which, let's be real here. If you're going to do a sequel to this iteration of the Grinch, you need Jim Carrey. Like there's no doubt about that. If you didn't have Jim Carrey coming back, you might as well just reboot it and just say that it's going to be a whole new iteration of the Grinch, because you can't say it's a sequel if you don't have the original cast, So Jim Carrey is in talks. Ron Howard is coming back to direct. He will produce alongside his Imagine Entertainment partner, Brian Grazer. The untitled sequel will have a script by Alec Berg, who wrote Barry, Silicon Valley, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Jeff Schaefer, Larry and the Pursuit of Happiness, Dave, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and David Mandel, Veep, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, are going to be writing it. And the trio worked on the 2003 Seuss adaptation of The Cat in the Hat starring Mike Myers. So, this is great. Listen, do we need this? Do we need this to happen? No, we don't. We do. This is one of those sequels that we clearly do not need a sequel to. I mean, obviously, The Grinch is a one-off story. What else are you going to do with a sequel? But with this movie, they were able to delve more into the Grinch's backstory. They expanded on the story a bit, stuff that wasn't in the original source material. So as long as you got the original cast back and the original writers and producers and directors, I think this will work. Like to me, it's like, yeah, you know what? Like, people say, yes, cash grab. Yes, maybe it is, but who cares? Childhood, my inner childhood is just very happy that we are getting this. And I think especially now because, Jim Carrey has talked about before that he would like to come back to do The Grinch, but because of the intense makeup that he had to put on for it. It was like very, very challenging for him. But I really, really do think that they're going to be able to, because in today's day and age with AI and things like that and CGI, I think they can make it not so claustrophobic for him, you know? I think that I think this is gonna work. I think, but then also there's part of me that says, part of me says maybe you should just try it again with the original prosthetics and stuff, just because if you're gonna go back to it, I've seen people argue that, but regardless of what they do, let's just put all that aside. They're able to get Jim Carrey back, which, I mean, that's a huge task right there, because I mean he's been very vocal about wanting to retire, but he's spending his days acting just as Robotnik in the Sonic films, which I'm very excited to see him back in Sonic 4, and we're getting him back as the Grinch. So he is probably just at the age now where he's like, I don't have to do this, I just do this because I want to. And he loves the Grinch and everything like that. So I'm just super stoked that we're getting this. I really, really am. And Ron Howard's coming back to do it. And as I said, like, is this a cash grab? Yes, call it a cash grab. How much did the last one make? I just want to look up and see really, really quickly how much the last one made. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 2000 film by Ron Howard, 351 million. And it plays on Netflix all the time. It play like the ad like the what do you call them? Not the royalties. Residuals. The residual checks that they're making off this movie to this date they're just rolling in dope. This movie plays all the time. Even I walk into stores at Christmas time and they always have movies and stuff like that playing. It's either Elf, a Grinch, or Home Alone or something like that. And so I'm just super stoked that we're going to get this. I'm very, very happy to see that it's all... I'm just kind of curious to see what they're going to do with the sequel. And because they have the original cast back, I think it's going to work. And I think that they're called a cash grab. I don't care. It is. Yes, let's just call for what it is. It's a cash grab, but who cares at this point? Who cares? Just to see a sequel to this movie that everybody loves so much. Why not? Let's just do it. So be sure to let me know what you guys think. Is it a cash grab? Is it not? I just say it is, and we can call it for that. But whatever. We're getting another Grinch movie with Jim Carrey back. So we'll see how it all turns out. So be sure to let me know what you guys think about that. And so we're going to call it for the show today, guys. I want to thank my guest, John Fellner, for coming on. Be sure to go check out his website in the show notes. Thank you guys for listening to the show. The Brett Kissel concert coming up. Be sure to get your tickets in the episode description as well, rockandriverfest.ca. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you guys in the next episode. But until then, this is Franky signing off. Have a great week, everybody.